So the United States has started airdropping aid to Gaza. This is supposedly one of six deliveries, I believe. 38,000 meals, which this lovely person has done the math, and that is 0.019 meals per person based on the 2 million people in Gaza who are currently displaced and starving. This bothers me for a lot of reasons. The first one being that it's all for show. Just like it seems like the Jordanian government doing their airdrops all week has been mostly a photo op, the United States is actively complicit in the starvation of Palestinians, so airdropping a fraction of the food they need isn't doing much. It's actually offensive. I'm not offended that people are going to get meals. I'm glad people are getting meals because we're seeing the fastest decline in a population's nutrition status ever recorded. We're hearing about Palestinians dying daily from starvation, especially children. We hear about people eating animal feed and garbage and animals like donkeys that they normally use as domesticated labor, animals like pet birds. I'm offended because this isn't actually doing what needs to be done. The last time UNRWA was able to deliver food aid to northern Gaza was on January 23rd. The European Union yesterday committed to redonating funds to the UNRWA after many world leaders had pulled out their funds because of made up allegations against some of their members by Israel. The United States is still withholding funds from the UNRWA. That's an on the ground organization dedicated to taking care of Palestinians and providing them aid. On top of that, the United States continues to send aid to Israel. 95 billion sent just 2 weeks ago for Ukraine and Israel. The irony of supporting Ukraine over Palestine. The irony of sending Israel money to continue to bomb and displace and torture Palestinians, but then send a few meals and hope that that levels things out. Another reason this bothers me is because of the flour bag massacre that happened 2 days ago, where aid was brought by truck as a lure, and then Palestinians were sniped to death, and then they were run over by bulldozers, all while trying to get bags of flour for their starving families. The death toll from the flour bag massacre has risen to 118 fatalities, along with 760 wounded. Even just today, Israeli forces opened fire on Palestinians waiting for aid in the same area where the flour bag massacre occurred, killing at least one Palestinian and wounding 26 others. Israel is using aid not to help Palestinians, but to actively target them. Voting at the UN for a ceasefire, instead of being the only country to vote no to a ceasefire, could help. Not sending aid to Israel so they don't have weapons to sniper and run over and bomb starving Palestinians could help. It's not enough to send meager amounts of aid in the air to starving Palestinians when Israeli settlers are blocking dozens of trucks from entering Gaza. Their government and police force could do something to stop the settlers from blocking aid if they cared, if they were humane, if they didn't want to intentionally starve Palestinians. But of course, Joe Biden doesn't actually care. He lies about ceasefires, making condescending statements like hope springs eternal. I don't believe that you're hopeful, Joseph, because you've gone on TV just this week to declare that you're a Zionist. And the mainstream media is spinning this as Hamas rejecting ceasefire agreements, when in fact Hamas has been very clear that they're not interested in short term ceasefires and a two-state solution. They want a sustainable ceasefire, ending any military presence of the occupation in the Gaza Strip, including all the needs of our people with reconstruction and ending the siege. They want their people to live freely on the land without the presence of occupation. The document they received from the Paris negotiations, which they said they didn't receive any official information, contained only no's, all of which are the rejection of human and political rights of the Palestinian people. They also say the American administration is up to its ears involved in supporting the crimes of the occupation, providing cover and weapons to kill Palestinians, and practicing collective punishment. So, yeah, the United States is sending aid to Gaza, a fractional, microscopic amount of aid to 2 million starving and displaced people. But is it just a photo op? Is it actually helpful? Does it negate the billions of dollars they've sent to Israel? The bombs that have displaced and killed thousands upon thousands of Palestinians? Does it negate the Americans who are on the ground in Palestine? Does it negate the people, the Israeli soldiers, possibly the American soldiers, who are snipering starving Palestinians just trying to get bags of flour? Sending a fractional amount of aid and blaming Hamas for rejecting ceasefire agreements that don't meet their terms? Temporary ceasefires that'll allow Israel to start bombing Palestinians again whenever they want? Temporary ceasefires with no enforcement? We already know that they continue to attack and assault Palestinians even under ceasefire. Temporary ceasefires to allow aid in, but are they going to stop their settlers from blocking the aid? We are confident that the Palestinian people will achieve their goals and that the occupation cannot bend the Palestinian will. Absolutely. Regardless of what Western leaders do, regardless of what Joe Biden thinks he's doing or tells the world he's doing, regardless of what mainstream media does to be complicit in an ongoing genocide, regardless of the lies and atrocities, Palestine will be free.